Hello and welcome to Topsin. My name is William Lebowski, and it has been quite a long time since I've made a video. However, here we are. It's Spa and iRacing. This is the VRS Endurance series, and one thing I did not expect is to really jump into iRacing and start really taking it seriously. And I've always had this kind of bias towards iRacing. Particularly because of the negative experiences that I've had and being frustrated that I've had to pay so much money in the frequency that you do for a subscription, and yada yada yada, classic iRacing concerns. But I cannot deny that it is the best place to race against other people, especially if you want to be able to do that frequently and reliably. And so there is no denying that. And so when I came into 2024, I had some sim racing goals, and the best place that I was going to achieve them was going to be in iRacing. So I jumped into iRacing more frequently, and I really started to enjoy some things and notice some things about iRacing that I hadn't been able to enjoy in the past. And that is particularly just getting up into some higher splits with a higher license, and this is one of those things right now, is finally being able to race some GT3 cars and some endurance racing. Of course, this is the 3-hour endurance VRS Endurance series, and so I'm doing it all. I'm doing them all, the ones that I can do, schedule permitting, solo, because I feel like this is a great way to get back into full endurance racing. And then an additional goal is by the end of the year, I want to at least, or at the end of the season, do a 24-hour Le Mans. It doesn't, obviously not on my own, but obviously needing to work up to that 24-hour goal. But I would only like a small team, just the 4 of us maybe. I think it would be a good number 4 I know 24-hour people like to do 6. But anyway, putting carts before horses here, aren't we? So yeah, and one of the things that I decided I wanted to do was to make videos showing some of the big races that I've got. I've got a calendar of races that I want to get to for this year, and mostly for now, through this first half of the year, they are the VRS Endurance series. But there are some other big ones. I would like to take part in the iRacing special events as well. So getting into this GT3 VRS specific series here, this is the very first race in week 1, and you can see we're coming into the end of the first lap, carnage everywhere, but this was also the first week that the Audi was out, and I wanted to jump into the brand new car, and I did have like about a week of practice with it, but it just wasn't enough, and quite frankly, this car is pretty unstable at high speeds. Spoiler alert, some bad things are going to happen later on, but anyway, at this point in the race, things are going well for me, and things are feeling well, and we're moving up. We started pretty far back, because in qualifying, I just made some errors, got real nervous, and didn't get a time in for qualifying, and so, huge wreck in front of us, did not remember just barely missing that, but, it really took me out of it. And so yeah, we're making our way up through the field, and that's what's happening up through here until we realize right here as we get a announcement over the radio that we are low on fuel. And at this point I realized that I did not change from my quali fuel level to race fuel level, and this pace that we've had is because we're racing cars full of fuel, and we're going to have to ruin our race right from the beginning. So right away, this is turned out to be a pretty big disappointment. However, there's some pretty decent learning experiences. Number one, it led me to getting a different car that I perform better in and I am more comfortable in. It led me to getting deeper into the knowledge of GT3 and iRacing, as well as endurance racing and iRacing and tire life and such. So good things to have learned, but going forward from here on out, it's only going to get worse. I just want to make that clear. And this is the week 1, I mentioned that earlier, and it is currently, I think, through week 4, but I have only done 2 of the races. I was not able to make the 2nd and 3rd race, but I was able to make the 4th race, and I should be able to make the rest of the races with the exception of one of them through the remainder of the 13 weeks. So look forward to those, assuming I still make those videos. I'm kind of deciding whether or not if I should just do important ones, because I don't want to end up with an excess of videos that are like this one, where again the bad things haven't happened yet. And so it's not tempting, but you can see right there how loose the car gets and how unstable the car is at high speeds. That's going to be some foreshadowing of what is to come. So yeah, I don't want all the videos to feel like, or the races in the videos to be duds, because that is no fun at all. And Daytona was the next race that I did, and there was some good racing, some good action. However, I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves already. It's just it might not be an amazing video. So yeah, I'm wondering what kind of balance to strike with making these videos and showing these races, and thinking about the way I want to go about the channel in general. I think we're gonna see a big shift from what has normally been the trend here. I think I have been trying to make sim racing content on this channel, and I think I'm gonna so far drop the idea of making content specifically as it pertains to this channel, and just kind of think of this more as showing a journey through what I'm racing in, especially as it's going to go through this season, because what I'm going to be doing this season in sim racing isn't going to be trying a bunch of different cars and a bunch of different titles and, you know, this and that for this season. At least I'm going to be really focusing on multiplayer racing and iRacing and the endurance stuff. So that's what I'm going to be doing going forward. I also do have a goal to get to a license in iRacing and this year, and so I'm gonna have to do some things other than these VRS Endurance races, because these will not give me any safety rating, which will then not give me any promotion in my license. So I will have some races to show that will be different, so I might consider doing some of those if I record them, make the videos and such. But that's pretty much where we're standing right now. It has been a while since I made videos, and I haven't necessarily been racing too much. I mean, I haven't been racing at all. I've really only been staying just current in sim racing, just keeping my toes in enough of the Sims titles to really know what's going on, just to have my finger on the pulse, not necessarily to really dive into anything deep. And you can see here, just lost it for the first time, and this is going to be a pretty big stop at the pits. You can see the damage from in the car, and here you go, the title. We got damage on the back end as well, so we got damage on all around the car. There's no body panel of this car that isn't destroyed, and what we're looking at here is only 3 minutes of the pits. In an endurance race, you know, 3 minutes is a good period of time. You know, it's at this point where the race is you're just hanging on, you know what I mean? And so to come into this race with such high hopes, I think maybe was a little mistake at the beginning already, coming in with the expectation that I was going to be familiar enough to have this all figured out. But then again, here we go. Car goes into the wall again immediately. In practice, it wasn't happening quite like this. I was able to really back it off, but when you get into a race, you don't want to just be completely off of it. And you can see I couldn't even get the car to move into the pits, and we're looking at a half hour in the pits, and so that really took the wind out of my sails. I didn't realize at this point that I wasn't going to get any I rating or safety rating, so I finished the race to completion. I believe we're looking at the last lap here. Yeah, we are. We got the white flag, and it was a cool transition to day and night. It would have been a very awesome race if I had my head on my shoulders the entire time, particularly in the lead up and whatnot. But yeah, it's gonna be. This is an easy race to do better than if this is the first measure on the yardstick. It's going to be easy to do better than this. Some very clear things that need to happen in the mentality, in the race itself, and so it's going to be reminders of what we need to know going forward. Our next big race is Daytona, and following that, our next big race is Hockenheim. Again, both 3 hours solo. So let's see what happens in those two races before we talk about what else we're going to do. But thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next one.